It is a busy time for the Camping World Truck Series, racing last Friday at Dover. Tonight here at Texas, they will be going at it the next couple of weekends as well. 4 consecutive weeks of action, a lot of pressure on these teams. We look now at our Camping World track description for tonight's race here at Texas.
I see speed, Phil.
It was built for speed, man.
That's exactly right. Those 24-degree banks in a pickup truck, you can attack those things at nearly 190 miles an hour and get around there wide open. That's action-packed racing.
Transitions really in and off the corner. Very challenging here.
And now our Shell race analysis.
See 167 laps. This is one of the longest races we have of the season. You see the pit window 50 to 55 for most humans. Matt Craftsman is 55 to 60. He's gone as many as 61 laps. We see 3 pit stops coming.
We had to stretch that out, and strategy could be a part of this deal as well. 2 tires late could work here. Didn't work at Dover, but it might work in Texas.
We take a look at the starting lineup, the front row, just like it was in Kansas last month. Eric Jones on the pole, 4-time at his career, 2nd this season. Matt Craftsman, who won at Kansas, starts outside of him. Daniel Suarez, Johnny Sauter in the top 5 as well. Sauter, a 2-time winner here at Texas. And as we go through the grid, keep your eye on the guy starting 16th. It's Tyler Reddick, a guy we know that can get to the front and make it happen here tonight.
Let's try to reach Tyler Reddick and ask him what he's thinking. Hey, Tyler Reddick, it's Michael Waltrip up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. Do you copy, bud?
How's you guys?
Well, what are you thinking? You got a bunch of trucks to come through. Obviously, you're fast. Can you win this, baby?
I think we have a really good Bulldog F-150. Obviously, qualifying didn't go the way we wanted to, but that's just how that stuff can go sometimes. I feel like we've got a really strong truck. We don't have the track position we want for these first couple runs, but I guess in the hands of myself and our crew to just get ourselves back up there, and I feel like we've got a good truck to do so.
Well, Tyler, I became a big fan last fall when you had that truck sideways about 10 different times and you hung on to it to a top 5 finish. Make it fun for us again tonight. What do you say?
We can definitely get another top 5. We showed a lot of speed in practice, especially once we got into a run. So if we can just get this single filed out and avoid a lot of the chaos that can be at the beginning of these races, we'll be fine. We just got to play safe and smart.
All right, we're going to enjoy watching, bud. Great job in that truck last fall here. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's hop on board the Ford EcoBoost Sport of Tyler Reddick. He's starting in the 16th position. We just talked to him. He's a highlight reel waiting to happen.
We're also going to ride along in this Chevrolet of Joe Nemechek. Joe Nemechek has an Xfinity win here back in 2003, and he will start his Chevrolet from the 10th spot.
Let's hop on board with one of the California kids from Tulane, California. That's Matt Craftsman, 2-time champion. He's won here at Texas before. He's starting on the outside of the front row. I called him Mr. Mile and a Half. He's going to prove that tonight.
Well, how about this guy? Is this guy going to beat him tonight? Going to get KBM's first win? Eric Jones, so fast. He's led 1/3 of all the laps we've run this year. He will drive the Special Olympics World Games Toyota, and he will start the pole.
Phil, he's led 289 laps in the last few races. I mean, this kid really has been impressive, knows how to get it done, and, of course, won here earlier in the year with the Nascar Xfinity Series, paid a visit to Texas Motor Speedway. About a lap and a half away before we go green here at Texas. Let's hear from our pit reporters, and it's ladies first. We start things out with Caitlin Vincey. Good evening, Caitlin.
Good evening, Adam. Well, one driver who is really looking forward to coming to Texas Motor Speedway is Cameron Haley. Why? Because it's one of the few tracks on the schedule he has previous experience at in a truck. He finished 10th here in the fall, and really, Thor Sport Racing as a whole has been very competitive here in Fort Worth. They've won 3 of the last 6 truck races here at Texas Motor Speedway. And Cameron also told me just this week he moved from Alberta, Canada to Sandusky, Ohio, where the team is based out of, to be closer to the team and more involved with the day-to-day operations, which he thinks is going to make a big difference. He's starting 8th for tonight's race, but for more on one of his teammates, let's check in with Vince Welch.
Well, Caitlin, that teammate is Johnny Sauter, and on the surface, it might look like Sauter's having a good season. He's 4th in points. He's been top 10 in 5 of the last 6 races this season, but he says it has been unsatisfying and saying the program needs across-the-board improvement. Well, we might be seeing the beginning of that upswing tonight here in Texas. Sauter has had better speed in practice, and he qualified a season-best 4th. Johnny Sauter, a 2-time Texas winner, showing possible signs of number 3 here tonight. Adam?
What's amazing to me about Johnny Sauter, one finish outside the top 10 through 6 races this season. It was a 15th. and he still finds himself fourth in the championship chase, 40 points out, an indication of how good the top three have been so far.
Yeah, the top three have averaged finishing better than fifth for all races this year. It's been an incredible start to the season.
Yeah, and this is the part of the season you better jumpstart if you're going to be Johnny Sauter and go be part of this championship battle. 40 points is over a race behind. He's going to have to start nipping away at it right now to get in contention.
Two of the guys he's chasing starting on the front row. Erik Jones won the pole in qualifying earlier today, chooses the outside lane to his left. The guy that won this race a year ago, and of course comes in leading the championship, Matt Craftsman.
What an amazing season that Matt Craftsman has had so far this year on the heels of back-to-back championships.
Johnny Sauter doesn't need to look far to see who he needs to beat, does he? A couple guys right out in front of him.
Pace vehicle on pit road. Been a long, hot day in Texas. Time to go racing for the 7th time this season. Green flag in the air, and we're off and rolling.
Good jump by Erik Jones. He gets that truck rolling on the outside, and he's going to tuck in and take the lead into one.
And run this thing wide open through 1 and 2 here.
John West Townley, the first truck side by side. He's going to pull around Johnny Sauter. Johnny didn't get rolling that great. Townley took advantage of it.
Right behind Townley was Timothy Peters. See that bright green and orange machine? Daniel Hemrick, the rookie who's coming off a career best last week at Dover.
Boy, isn't momentum great, huh? Look at 3 wide back behind them.
Look at Sauter. Said he got rolling slow, but he's up to speed now, and he's going to challenge Timothy Peters to the bottom of the racetrack. That's the hardest place to race, Phil. Down into turn 1 on the inside of another truck. You really have to protect yourself. You got to really angle into the corner straight, or that thing will get arrow loose, and around she'll go.
And the veteran move by Timothy Peters to give him some extra room as they got down in 1 and 2.
And watch that cat in the bright green and orange truck. He's a quick study. He's a great learner. He's seeing what's happening ahead of him, and he will take advantage of that knowledge as we race forward. What a talented young man is Daniel Hemrick.
And just in front of him, Sauter able to complete the pass on Timothy Peters. Spencer Gallagher racing outside of Justin Boston, a couple of youngsters there, and in front of them, the kid making his 3rd career start out of Maine, Austin Theriault. And on board with Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, we talked to Reddick. He said he was going to be patient. He was going to take it easy and not do anything silly early in the going. You can see riding up high, just kind of taking a look at what's happening ahead of him. He doesn't want to force it 3 wide if he doesn't have to, but he's certainly got a really fast truck, and he can if he finds himself in that position.
We heard him back off. We're seeing these leaders run lap times at just barely over 30 seconds flat. That's 180 miles an hour in race trim for these guys.
That's why I said this. I mean, that's 190 into the corner, wide open, into those big banks. Man, that's intimidating sitting up here watching it. And you can see what Reddick's working to the inside of Joe Nemechek coming off turn 4.
A lot of the talk in the garage was even though as fast as they are now, the pace is going to fall off. These tires are going to give up some speed. We're going to see laps in this race, they think, at least 2 seconds slower than they're running right now.
And that's when I talked about strategy. Oh, look at that. Matt Craftsman did something we haven't seen done much. He passed Erik Jones. We saw Erik get past Blade at Dover. This truck's been so fast on the 1.5 mile all year long. Right there shows you how strong that 88 truck is.
Same truck that Matt drove earlier this season at Atlanta to victory lane there. First win of 2015 for the 88 bunch.
Wonder if Jones had a slip there. Big lead.
Has some sort of a bobble. Look, oh, he goes way up the racetrack, got a little bit high, lost all his momentum.
That was more than likely a push. The truck took off with the front tires toward the outside wall. He couldn't get it turned. You can see he gets up a little high, and then it just loses the front end. These drivers will be fighting one of 2 things, the back end trying to come out from under them or the front end not turning. And that was a great example, a very vivid example of what it's like when you lose the front end. Remember, Phil, he's attempting to run around that turn wide open, and he was way late off the turn running wide open when the front end said, I give, and almost went into the outside wall.
Jones had built up a 1/2 second lead after grabbing the top spot from the pole, but then slipped, as we said, off of turn 2, opening the door for Matt Craftsman, who now has a 0.3 second advantage over Erik Jones. Suarez is 3rd, John West Townley 4th, and Johnny Sauter completes the top 5. 8 laps in here at Texas.
Really good runs early for Suarez in 3rd and John West Townley in 4th.
Suarez is the guy to watch. We've seen so much progress, so much steady improvement from him since he first showed up to race the Truck Series, and he's a potential winner. He's on the short list.
He missed one of the races when he was running the Xfinity Series, but no finishes outside the top 10, including a runner-up last week at Dover.
Coach, he's a fast learner.
Absolutely.
And he's taking advantage of that draft right now, Phil. He's got a couple of trucks ahead of him, and he's pulling up on them. I said he's going to try to run wide open. Listen. Hear the truck start to skim along the road.
The bumps are what induced that, Michael, right?
He was lapping a truck a little bit higher than he had been, got into those bumps, and the thing just took off. But that shows you the commitment, how hard these drivers are trying to get through these corners. One little slip, and it could mean disaster.
You can see Eric Jones moving around the racetrack a little bit, actually made some ground up on Matt Craftsman. Right now, these guys are running 1 second slower than they were about 5 laps ago, Vince.
Well, the 51 of Daniel Suarez, you guys are documenting the surprising success that he's had this season so far, and he said it's even surprised him. Top 10 in all 5 starts. You noted second place last week at Dover. He said it's even come quicker to him, the confidence level and the comfort that he was expecting. Suarez currently running third, and his teammate is Eric Jones looking for the lead on Matt Craftsman.
Slipped off turn 2, gave up the top spot. Didn't take him long to rally back and get back to the point. 11 laps in, Eric Jones out front once again at Texas.
He moved up the racetrack, really gained some speed. A lot of the talk in the garage area was that Tyler Reddick moved up the racetrack in practice yesterday and picked up about 0.3 of a second. These guys all know that. Eric Jones used that to his advantage.
That's why when Jones got passed by Craftsman, it shocked me. We hadn't seen that on these mile-and-a-halfs until the last lap at Charlotte when he got beat out there and he ran out of gas at Kansas leading. That was the first time I've seen somebody just run up there and beat him this early in the race.
Confidence, not a problem for Jones here. A couple of months ago, NASCAR Xfinity Series started on the pole, won the race, but in between went toe-to-toe with some of NASCAR's best. Brad Keselowski, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's not intimidated tonight. Eric Jones out front. Soccer this weekend on Fox Sports 1 as we kick off our coverage of the FIFA Women's World Cup. But we have NASCAR 2 Sunday, 14th race of the year for NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. We're live in Pocono. Race day gets it started 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can watch it here on Fox Sports 1. We're streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And in case you missed qualifying earlier today, right here on FS1, Kurt Busch on the pole, 19th time in his career, and joining him on the front row, Carl Edwards, who got the win a couple of weeks ago in the Coke 600.
Both those guys already in the chase, already punched their ticket. Could we get another one tomorrow?
9 winners through the first 13 races. You win a race, you go to the playoffs. Eric Jones trying to get his first win of the year tonight.
Looks like that truck is really well balanced, Phil. He's already opened up that lead to nearly 2 seconds. That last time by, he was 0.2 of a second faster than any other truck on the racetrack, except for Tyler Reddick. And Reddick is running sometimes nearly as fast as Jones. So I know the guys down in the pits, they're talking about the speeds of the different trucks. This Ford EcoBoost number 19 is one of the fastest ones out there.
What are they saying, Vince?
Well, Tyler Reddick a little loose center off, but they've really been preaching patience to him. They know he's got a good truck, but being patient coming up through the field to make sure he doesn't put himself in a bad situation that could be costly. There's no question he has the speed to make his way through, but as we said, loose center off, and sometimes that can get tricky. They don't want to get him in a situation that he's not ready for and doesn't need to be in this early in the race.
And they think it's going to get worse, too. They think as this racetrack cools off, and it will, they think this track's going to free up some. As we see Reddick trying to get by Timothy Peters, that is a battle for the 6th spot.
Watch Reddick's hands as he tries to make this move. That truck is going to want to be very loose down on the bottom, and he's going to have to grab a handful of steering wheel to make this pass. The lap truck blocked his progress there, but watch him as he gets up beside him and how much input he has to give the steering wheel.
Caution is out. Debris on the track.
That debris in turn 4, first caution of the night, comes out as we complete lap 19. And I'm curious here, 4 sets of tires in the pits. What are you thinking? Is it too early, Phil?
I think we're going to stop. I mean, we're almost halfway to a pit stop, especially the first time with all the pace laps and the warm-ups. So I think we do come in now. Maybe now if you're back towards the back of the lead lap, maybe put 2 tires on for a little track position. But I think we definitely got to come down pit road here.
I couldn't agree more, Phil. If we put in gas and just gas and go and save the tires, I understand that. But you can't just pass up this opportunity to fill your tank up with gas. And what I love about the truck series is those tires are rationed. You know, you've only got 4 sets that you're going to put on that truck. You better use them wisely.
But that's more than we normally get here. A luxury for these crew chiefs when they start playing the strategy game. And as we get this first caution 20 laps in, 19 trucks on the lead lap. The final one of those, Tyler Young. Free pass here will go to Jennifer Jo Cobb.
And just think about this, Phil. You said it a bit ago. Over a second lost in about 10 laps. So those tires are not only a rare commodity, they're very valuable as well.
Keep an eye on the 19 of Tyler Reddick. He goes from 16th to 7th on that first green flag run. Can his team help him out here on pit road? First pit stops of the evening going to come under caution. It happens at lap 21. Let's start our coverage with Caitlin Vincey.
Well, John West Townley is coming down pit road. They decided they're going to take 2 tires. This has been a pretty good track for John over the years. He says he really enjoys coming here. He's coming down pit road now. Vince. The 88 of Matt Crafton is in the pits. They're taking 2 tires as well. The biggest complaint they've had so far across the radio is just a loose condition on that truck. Vince.
The 51 of Daniel Suarez, 2 free, so they're going to make a track bar adjustment, 4 tire change for Eric Jones, and a chassis adjustment on that 4 truck as well with 4 tires, and it's a race off pit road, and it's going to be Matt Crafton getting there first.
That number 1 pit stall for Eric Jones after winning the pole does not help him get off the pit lane quick enough. The pit work for Matt Crafton gets him the top spot. We'll reset the running order when we return to Texas. Start with Johnny Sauter, comes in 4th in the championship.
He's so intense, it's ridiculous. Like he said, when he puts that helmet on, oxygen leaves or something. I don't know what it is, but he is incredibly intense.
And the talk of the garage, Eric Jones, qualified on the pole earlier today, 3rd time in his career. It's a new track record here at Kansas Speedway.
And out in front of everyone is the number 19, Tyler Reddick. The Monster Mile victory in the Lucas Oil 200 goes to Tyler Reddick. Absolutely dominant. Matt Crafton pulls away and wins by a distance. Crafton is making a statement. If you're going to win a championship, you're going to have to come through me.
Only 6 races into 2015 for the Camping World Truck Series. Round 7 here tonight, live at Texas Motor Speedway, and already some drama when it comes to the championship chase. Getting ready for a restart. We'll get it as we complete lap 24. Matt Crafton won the race off pit road, choosing the outside lane. Eric Jones, who was leading, restarts 2nd on the inside. Suarez Townley in row 2.
Pretty similar to the initial start of the race with Eric Jones and Matt Crafton, although the roles are reversed right now. Matt Crafton is the control truck, and he takes the outside like Eric Jones did for the initial start.
Yeah, we saw Jones have that bobble, get tight off turn 2, and Crafton poke his way around him. But, man, Jones recovered from that. It'll be really interesting to see if the veteran, the champion, Matt Crafton, has made an adjustment to that 88 truck that will allow him to outrun Eric Jones.
And keep an eye on Brandon Jones, restarting inside the top 5. First time we've mentioned his name tonight.
Oh, and it looks like he missed a shift there. Something didn't go right for that 33 truck on the start, so Jones didn't get off to a good one there.
How about the start for teammates Eric Jones and Suarez? 1-2.
Crafton falls in line in 3rd. Then it's John West Townley, and our biggest mover of the night, Tyler Reddick, 16th to 5th in 24 laps.
Yeah, Daniel Hemrick's going to look to the inside of Tyler Reddick as they get down to turn 3.
Reddick sort of eased into turn 3, but then he got hard in the gas on the way off, and it looks like he's going to be able to keep his nose out ahead of Hemrick, and he does that.
Took him a few laps to get going on the start after rolling in the 16th position, but once he got going, he was picking off a truck a lap.
Well, it looks like Brandon Jones is really holding that pack up. You saw Joe Nemechek, that A-truck, look to the inside. Now Timothy Peters jumps to the outside and gets around Nemechek.
When you hold a pack up, they go 2, they go 3 wide. They get impatient. These truck races aren't that long, only a couple 150 miles, but golly, they throw their gloves up and they go at it.
Well, everyone knows, though, it doesn't matter what series you're talking about in NASCAR, you better go get you some on a restart. We're saying that right here.
Matt Crafton's been able to get by Suarez, so he splits the KBM teammates. Eric Jones maintains the lead. Crafton now 2nd.
Maybe Crafton did get that adjustment he needed. That's a strong move to get around Suarez, and he's tracking down our leader, Eric Jones, as these guys do battle all over this mile-and-a-half racetrack.
Jones has led 18 laps tonight, but Crafton has led 7. He's now led in every race this year. You know what that means? Bonus points in a tight championship chase.
And he knows how to win championships.
Good battle here amongst young drivers. That red and black number 54 inside. The rookie from KBM, Justin Boston, Brandon Jones on ice skates as they go 3 wide behind him.
Looked like Spencer Gallagher in that 23 blue truck had a little bit of a moment there. Ben Kennedy, the 11, jumped to the high side.
That was a close one.
I thought Mingus about got Gallagher there.
Holy cow, I don't know how that didn't result in a caution.
Haley now jumps to the inside of Mason Mingus. He got a little bit loose over there in turn 4.
But look at the momentum that he took away from Haley by cutting him a little close on the exit of that corner. Haley had to run out of the gas, roll out of the gas, and it allowed those trucks behind him to close in. And Gallagher sliding around in that 23 truck down on the bottom of the racetrack, nearly into the outside of Brandon Jones.
Here's where Brandon Jones gives him a little bit of room. You need to give that truck on the inside a little bit of room. Gallagher makes the pass.
You say we need a little bit of room? Watch this. He just dives down into the corner, and Mingus almost took him out.
Team manager Mike Beam is spotting for Spencer Gallagher in this race.
Well, I don't think Mike Beam said clear.
No, I don't think so either.
You see Haley and Young having to dodge from behind. They had a front row seat for what could have been a huge crash here at Texas. Everybody gets it sorted out and we race on. Jones is now 0.6 of a second in front of Matt Crafton. Suarez, Townley, and Reddick, the top 5 as we look at a battle for position. That's Mason Mingus in the black 15 outside lane. The blue and black 33 of Brandon Jones. Contact there.
Did not have him cleared. He tried to move up the racetrack to get a good arc into the corner. You see smoke from the left front tire on the 33 of Brandon Jones.
Well, Jones did nothing wrong. Mingus came up the road on him.
We did get confirmation. Brandon Jones gained up all that track position on the pit lane because they took 2 tires. He was already at a disadvantage there, and now a tire rub after the contact with Mingus.
That left front won't last long. Look at Mingus. He just moves up like
he wasn't there, like Brandon Jones wasn't there. Brandon Jones did a great job keeping that truck out of the outside wall and keeping it straight.
Watch again. That just shocks you. Brandon Jones did a great job getting to the outside. Yeah, the
left front tire went flat.
Of course.
Yeah. Tough break, and that certainly didn't deserve that. Mason Mingus got into the left front.
First truck 1 lap down is Timmy Hill. He'll get the free pass. Eric Jones, the leader here at Texas. We're coming back after a break. First to Los Angeles at our Fox Sports desk. Here's Alan Maciel. The Chicago White Sox coverage begins 7 p.m. Eastern time. So we're under caution for the second time tonight. The reason Brandon Jones in the wall after a cut tire.
This is the end result. There was contact between Mason Mingus and Brandon Jones. That's what caused this left front tire to go down. Tough break for Brandon Jones.
Yeah, you knew that tire was going to go down, or we figured it would, and it did.
Jones top 10 a week ago at Dover. He's in the garage now at Texas. 34 laps complete. Perfect timing back in Texas as we go green once again for the Camping World Truck Series, completing lap 36. That black number 4 outside lane, our race leader, Eric Jones. Here comes Matt Crafton to the inside.
Boy, Reddick thought about making it 3 wide, tried to jump inside of Suarez for a moment. Meanwhile, dead even off the corner.
Yeah, Matt Crafton, I think, might have something for Eric Jones tonight. He's able to hang with him on that last green flag run, and now down on the inside trying to grab the lead.
Look at Hemrick sticking his nose in there in the 5th position, driving around the outside of Tyler Reddick.
Remember, these crew chiefs have had 1 opportunity already to adjust on these trucks. They're going to get at least 3 more.
Suarez inside, giving a little push to Crafton, and that draft can really benefit you when you're side by side with another competitor.
Yeah, Crafton had to be a little bit tentative, though. He didn't want to drive down in the corner, get loose underneath Eric Jones.
And that's why he gets away from him on the straightaway. Those trucks hung side by side. Slows down Crafton's momentum. He went to the bottom of the track and made the run.
On board with Eric Jones, who does not want to give up the lead. Power in that outside lane.
Or Crafton just about had him cleared on exit of 4. Might have had him cleared for just a moment, but Eric Jones had the momentum on the outside. Crafton fights back on the inside. We heard Eric Jones pedal the gas there a little bit.
Well, we know there's bumps up there, and we saw Jones get tight when he went up high, and we watched Crafton make all kinds of ground right down on that white line. He is so close to completing this pass. Maybe he can get him off 4.
This reminds me of the last 15 laps at Charlotte, something like that, when Casey Kane and Eric Jones went toe-to-toe. Jones able to clear him as we cross the start-finish line, completing lap 39.
We've got 128 laps to go, and these guys are racing like it's the last 5 laps.
Look in the back there, the blue truck way up high. That was Tyler Reddick trying to make a run for Daniel Suarez, and he just about lost all of his momentum. And here comes John West Townley looking on the bottom.
See, Reddick moves up the racetrack. He's got a little bit of momentum up there on the high side.
I think he likes it up there.
He does like it up there.
Reddick started 16th, did not advance to the final round of qualifying. Just wrong place, wrong time in regard to the draft in round 2. Roll 16th, drove his way into the top 10 in that first green flag stretch. Here he is 4th, trying to get 3rd away from Daniel Suarez in that bright orange number 51.
Look at all that momentum Reddick had coming off the corner. He really ran that high side, Vince, and he's on the inside of Suarez.
Michael, the longer they run, Reddick gets better up top because the tires go away and the truck frees up. Otherwise, he likes it down on the bottom. He said, but the further we run, the better it gets up top, but it takes me a while to get there. So as this run goes, remember, they've been good on the long run this weekend in practice, but as this run goes, I'd look for Reddick to run up top a little bit more and to be better up there.
Well, Phil, and what I love about Suarez ahead of him there, look what he's done. He saw that Reddick was making ground on the high side. He said, maybe I need to try that. Young kid, he goes up, he moves around. That's exactly what you want. You have to give a lot of credit to Jerry Baxter, his crew chief, his spotter, for communicating with that young man what the other trucks are doing and how it might make him better. I love the fact that he's not afraid to take that truck and put it in other lanes.
Remember, Reddick this earlier today said we had a lot of short run speed here last June. We had a lot of long run speed in November. Now we're going to try to get somewhere in the middle.
And there's Reddick's teammate in the blue and yellow 29. Austin Terrio qualified 6th, has dropped back outside the top 10, scored in the 12th position, but able to drive around Cameron Haley, the black and red 54. Justin Boston, that team on a run of 3 consecutive top 10s until they had problems last week at Dover. And right behind him, Spencer Gallagher trying to make some noise from the 11th spot.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5 races for Spencer Gallagher, top 15 finishes.
These guys look a little bit unstable, though. They've been all over this racetrack. Running high, running low, side by side, even 3 wide at times. I'd like to split this crowd if I could.
Tidy that up a little bit.
You know who's right behind him? The 07 of Ray Black Jr. Stayed out under that caution, led a lap, came down, got his service, restarted deeper in the field, but he's driving to the front. And, you know, here's a kid that's been good on the 1.5 miles, just can't catch a break. Problems both at Kansas and Charlotte. Good to see him in the top 15.
Let's just write his name down as a guy that's going to contend for some top 10 finishes and then maybe even sneak up toward that top 5. I love what I'm seeing out of this guy. He's taking that equipment and getting all out of it it has to give. Team's doing a good job.
And look at the teams he's racing against right now around. That's Thorsport, the 13 truck. Brad Keselowski Racing, the 29. GMS Motorsports, the 23. Some great teams, and Ray Black Jr. is right there with him.
And let's not forget, Florida native, season opener, top 5 run at Daytona. That 07 team has had some things to celebrate in 2015, and you see it here. Started 18th and gaining on it, running in the 14th position.
You can just tell by the attitude of that truck. They've got it set up right, and Ray Black Jr. is not afraid to wheel it. You can see he heads to the high side, trying to make some momentum there on Cameron Haley.
Austin Terrio tries to move in on the 23 of Spencer Gallagher. That's Terrio on the 29 truck. Here comes Reddick again, trying to do something with Suarez. These guys have fallen about 2 seconds behind Eric Jones right now in this battle for 3rd.
But they're not losing any ground to Jones. I mean, over the last 5 or 6 laps, they've been able to stabilize at that 2nd mark. And I'm impressed with everybody that's able to keep up with Jones. I mean, do you remember how he annihilated the field at Kansas? Just drove from the back to the front and was so dominant. I don't see that tonight. I know he's got a nice lead, but he's also going to have a lot of company here if Reddick gets the track position that he's looking for.
How much confidence for Jones coming here tonight, knowing the last time he was here, he got that Xfinity Series win?
I think that young man has a lot of confidence in whatever he gets in. He's done a great job at relief driving for Denny Hamlin at Bristol in the Cup Series, and then the race he ran of his own was running up in the top 5 till he got in an accident late. He has a lot of confidence and worth he's worth that confidence.
He has a lot of confidence and a lot of talent. You combine those two things together, and he's done some special things. And Adam, you said it, that Xfinity win here last fall, he was down on the bottom of Brad Keselowski on a late restart. He was able to complete that pass. He was able to push his way around Dale Jr. He raced with the best in the business, and he put them away that day.
Austin Dillon also in the top 5 on that Friday night, the all-time leader when it comes to mile-and-a-half average finishes in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And we've been talking about Tyler Reddick and Daniel Suarez running 3rd and 4th on track. Well, here comes Suarez trying to get Matt Crafton, Caitlin.
Well, when it comes to terms of experience, Matt Crafton certainly has it here in Fort Worth. He's got 28 career starts here at Texas Motor Speedway, which is more than any other active series driver entered in today's race. And as Adam said earlier, they brought the same truck they raced at Atlanta and won with. And Matt Crafton actually told me this place is starting to feel very similar to Atlanta. It's more wore out. You see a lot more tire fall off as well. The biggest feedback he's given to his team so far tonight, it's a little snug and free offense.
Well, and as we look at that leader, Eric Jones, and he continues to build that lead up over 2 seconds now. When they were here last year and Jones ran here for the first time, they were wrecking loose late in the race, and he couldn't do anything with it. Ended up 11th. Rudy Fugle, the crew chief, came with a different mindset this time. We're not going to be wrecking loose this time. So they've been running a little bit more snug, around a 1.5 to a 2, according to Eric. And that's where they are right now, about a 2 snug, but still running faster laps than the second-place car, Matt Crafton, working right according to plan for crew chief Rudy Fugle and his driver, 19-year-old Eric Jones.
And Vince, they changed a lot. Was down there in the garage area talking to those guys, and they changed a lot of stuff from the practice yesterday. I believe they made a fix. They fixed it, I believe.
I agree, Phil. He's looking pretty comfortable in that truck.
I'd say 43 laps out front, 51 complete. The 4 truck handling just fine, thank you very much. Crafton, Suarez, Reddick, Townley complete the top 5. We're off and rolling on a Friday night deep in the heart of Texas. Join NASCAR as we salute our veterans and active military members using the hashtag NASCAR Salutes or visiting NASCAR.com/salute. We're live on a Friday night. Texas Motor Speedway playing host to the 7th race of 2015 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander, Caitlin Vincent, Vince Welsh on pit road. It's been the Eric Jones show. Started on the pole, has led 49 of our first 57 laps. His advantage right now over second-place Matt Crafton, nearly 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, watch him lead. He does that a lot. But something always seems to happen at the end to make this stuff a lot of fun. And there's a lot of trucks in hot pursuit of that 4, including Matt Crafton. Looks like Spencer Gallagher got a little high down in turn 3 and 4. He's running in the 12th spot.
I've been watching Spencer. He's been moving up the racetrack. He's running about as high as anybody is right here. I tell you, these guys now, they're about 2 seconds slower than they were on fresh tires. They have their hands full right now.
You know, Phil, you can go down the straightaways just as fast on old tires as you can new ones. It's when you get to the corners it gets so difficult. We talk about the speeds in excess of 175 miles an hour, and we've got to get these trucks turned in the corner. Look how much effort Gallagher's putting into getting turned all the way up next to that outside wall. I don't think that groove's working for him. Commend him for giving it a whirl, but I believe I took it back down to the bottom and see if I can't pick up my lap time. That time by, he was a second off of our leader.
Yeah, he was a lot. He lost a lot of ground through the center of the corner. I think he might have gotten too high that time.
Look at Eric Jones out front. You know, there are 9 races on the schedule at mile-and-a-half tracks. And we had 3 coming into tonight's event at Texas Motor Speedway. In those 3 races, Eric Jones and second-place Matt Crafton, seen here, had led all but 45 laps of competition. And they've led all but 1 here tonight, a sign of how strong they are and how important that success is going to be on the balance of the season when you talk about this championship chase.
Well, remember, Matt Crafton has 2 wins this year. Eric Jones has led over 60% of the laps coming into this race on the mile-and-a-halves with 0 wins to show for it.
He's led 289 laps in the last 3 races coming into tonight, talking about Eric Jones, yet to go to victory lane. We talked about the heartbreak, running out of fuel at Kansas. The 5/1000ths of a second different when Casey Kane got the checkered flag at Charlotte. That two-tire stop late last week that got him the advantage but couldn't hang on at Dover.
And when you're a kid, I mean, all that wears on you. You know, like, what have I got to do? What do I need to do to make sure I can get to victory lane? I know right now it's not bothering him in the least. He's out there leading laps like he's accustomed to doing, but I'm telling you, Phil, he's thinking what could go wrong later. We got to be on top of our game is the words that he's relaying to his crew.
Spencer Gallagher dropping down to the inside of the racetrack. Going to be an unscheduled pit stop at lap 62. Last time these guys were in, lap 21, the fuel window here between 50 and 55 laps. We've gone 40. You know this is early. We wouldn't expect to see him here, and he's going to have to give up the 13th position on track to come down the pit lane.
Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a little bit of damage to that Renault. He's clean on the right side. He was running a crazy line. And maybe, Phil, you don't think he could have wore out his tires because he was running up there where no one else was, do you? Look at that that right front tire is corded up. So definitely some damage to the tires. And that line that he was running might be the reason for that.
Remember, that's a lot greener racetrack now. There's a lot of rubber down from the middle of the racetrack down. But this is that multi-zone right side tire that Goodyear's brought out there. When you move up the racetrack where nobody's been, it's just like they just got here yesterday morning for practice. He wore that tire out, I believe.
But another 10 or 15 laps, everyone else going to have to pit. He's got fresher tires, faster lap times. Perhaps it will cycle through. Eric Jones out front here at Texas. 69 laps complete of 167 in tonight's 250-miler for the Camping World Truck Series at Texas. Now our Ford Facts, 35th time the Camping World Truck Series has done battle here. That's the most of any venue that we visit. Most starts, David Starr, a Texas native who's had a lot of success here. 3 times a Ford has gone to victory lane, and on 3 different occasions they have started on the pole.
We're riding along with a very fast Ford right now. That's Tyler Reddick. He's running in the 4th spot. His teammate Austin Terrio is back in the 8th spot, but running some fast laps as we look at our leader, Eric Jones, now with about a 3.5-second lead over Matt Crafton.
And before we went to break, Spencer Gallagher came down and made a pit stop at lap 62. Teammates came 3 laps later from Red Horse Racing, Timothy Peters and Ben Kennedy. Now, Peters only lost 1 lap. Both Gallagher and Kennedy are 2 laps down, and the scheduled stops now begin. Daniel Hemrick is in, Vince.
He is indeed, Adam, coming off a career best finish, 4th place at Dover. They've been really happy with the truck after the adjustments on the first pit stop. Said it's coming to them. They've been much happier. A little bit of a slow stop on that left side. 4 tires, no changes on the 14 of Hemrick.
And I said the scheduled stops begin. Maybe these are all scheduled. We'll kind of follow up on how strategy goes, but here's John West Townley in at lap 71.
Yeah, solid run for John West Townley, running up in the top 5 as we watch our leader, left side of our screen, Eric Jones, make his way to pit road.
All these top teams will get 4 tires under green because they need that much gas. They can pretty much get the tires unless you have a slow stop like we saw with Hemrick, and about the amount of time it takes to get the fuel. So you'll see 4 tires under green flag condition. Vince, what's the 4 asking for as they come to pit road? Need an adjustment?
He does indeed. It has gotten much tighter. Remember we told you earlier they were about a 1.5 snug. That's gone to a 3.5 snug. Tight in the center according to Eric Jones. So it's a 4-tire change. No chassis adjustment at this point. It's going to be air pressure. That's the change Rudy Fugle, the crew chief, has called for on this 4 for Eric Jones. A wheel out of the box on the 14.
Nemechek getting his left side tires on pit road. And on the other side of the screen, look where Crafton's running. He's been running way up the hill as well. We saw a worn tire as a result of that from Spencer Gallagher. Be interesting to see when they pull the tires off the point leader if he's worn his out because of the line he's running.
Suarez and Reddick both coming down pit road, Vince.
Well, for the 51 of Daniel Suarez, loose in, tight center, and just has absolutely no grip. As far as the 19 is concerned of Tyler Reddick, he says it's still too tight. He has to put too much wheel in it. The 51 gets out, then the 19 goes as well. Here comes the 88 of Matt Crafton.
The 88 is coming down to pit road, and Matt's crew chief Junior Joyner told Matt we're looking good in turns 1 and 2, but we've got to keep working on 3 and 4, and this is going to be a 4-tire stop for the 88 machine. Vince.
Well, the 29 of Austin Terrio, just the opposite of his teammate Tyler Reddick. Reddick has been tight. Terrio has been too free, but he said the track has been coming to them the adjustment there on the right side, but they've been much happier this run than they were the initial run. 4 tires for the Brad Keselowski machine.
So these are scheduled green flag pit stops. You saw the rookie there, Cameron Haley, getting his service. He will return to the track. All this is cycled through, putting the 63 of Tyler Tanner on point. He is yet to come to pit road. The same for Ray Black Jr. in the 07. And you're on board with Tyler Reddick, who is being penalized, driving through too many pit stalls when coming to pit road.
Yeah, and the pro trailer that calls him for the cup races and cup weekends isn't here, so that's a visual, so it was going to be pretty obvious.
We're driving through too many boxes on exit. Don't want you to pit this time. We'll do it next time.
One of the fastest trucks here.
Big mistake, and really unnecessary, Michael.
Yeah, I've raced a few times this year, so I understand the rules. When you come to pit road, you can't drive through more than 3 pit boxes, and I'm telling you, Phil, it's hard to drive through that many. You have to just you have to not be paying attention in order to make that mistake, and that could be the case here with the 19. Let's see how many he drove through.
You don't count yours. Okay, here's one of them. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Really 4, right? 4 pit boxes.
And what amazes me about that, Michael, is there's really not a ton of traffic. He did have Suarez outside of him there, but hard to do on green flag just because there are so many fewer vehicles on the pit lane, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe that's just a situation where he didn't understand the rule clearly, because obviously there was no reason for him to drive straight out onto pit road, and he must have thought that it was okay for him to do that. So could be a communication issue.
How about this, though? Give some credit to that Athenian Motorsports team. They were running 5th when the cycle of stops began. He would now be 2nd in line behind Eric Jones, although he's going to get past here. Suarez to the inside. He's going to bring Matt Craftsman with him. Craftsman was 2nd when the cycle of stops began, and the advantage now over those guys, Eric Jones back to Suarez, 6 seconds. The Ford team's got a fast truck, but the pit crew delivered as well.
Yeah, they certainly did. Right now, Tyler Tanner, the 63 truck, has not pitted. He pitted actually on lap 33 after everyone else, doing a nice job in the Mittler Brothers truck. Mittler Brothers so good for a lot of young drivers getting an opportunity. Tyler Tanner right here doing a nice job with his truck. They stay on the racetrack. They pitted on lap number 33. They're going to have to come to pit road here probably in another 5 or 8 laps or something like that. So they probably will try to remain on the racetrack, try to catch a caution flag, stay on this lead lap.
This the battle for what would be 2nd on track, Matt Craftsman outside of Suarez.
Matt Craftsman around the high side of Suarez. Looks really good up there.
There's a power move on the outside. And look at the blue truck back there. Is that Reddick?
It is the 19 of Reddick, yes.
He still hasn't come to pit road. I wonder if
they may be appealing that. And when they looked at it, we saw Suarez was to his outside. He may have said, I wasn't able to move out because of Suarez being there, as we see Tyler Tanner making his way to pit road.
They're, like you said, they're arguing with NASCAR over the call, and it sounds like NASCAR is going to say, no, that's your responsibility to not drop through those pit boxes.
And they may say, hey, you had the opportunity to back off and get behind Suarez. He was obviously out in front of you.
The rule's pretty clear. The interpretation of it in this case, however, isn't. But here he comes. He's got to be careful not to speed. A lot of frustration. Get her down to pit road speed and make sure you don't get another penalty.
Well, don't slide those tires, and he didn't do that. So good job so far, as long as he maintains his speed. And the caution's out.
Could be
for Spencer Gallagher, and that could be really big for this 19 team. They were 6 seconds back of the race leader.
They're gonna remain on the lead lap.
That's gonna be fine. A huge break.
He's coming right on through.
Yep. Maintain that speed all the way till you get the outline. That right yellow line right there.
Get called up, guys on pit road. We're gonna pit here. I know we're gonna get at least fuel miking.
We're listening live to the strategy of the 19 truck. That's Doug Randolph, the crew chief, calling those shots.
And you've got nothing to lose by coming to pit road here, because you're going to be the last truck on the lead lap because you came down the pit lane there. Caution, a huge break for them, and now you come get that service. At least fuel in this situation could be a game changer later on.
There's Spencer Gallagher around. That's Ray Black Jr. The 07 does an amazing job getting by. Spencer does a pretty nice save, really. We've got 85 laps to go right now. Everybody comes in this time. They're in their window to make it on one more stop.
Head forward, tight off wall, tight out of the hole, tight on exit.
You know, and I think
4 tires.
I think 4 tires is maybe the call here. We got enough to get the tires, and I believe that's what everybody do. What a great stop for the Ford team. They were on and off the pit road. Eric Jones did his job. The crew did theirs, increased his lead, doubled his lead after the green flag pit stop. So great job by the team.
This is that last stop for Jones under green. Look at that tire getting away there on the left rear. Top right-hand side of your screen. Watch the tire. It got away, Vince. What are they saying?
Talked to a NASCAR official who was standing right there, and he said as long as the tire doesn't go more than halfway out of the box toward the actual pit lane, then it wouldn't be a penalty. If it rolled previous to the box previous or to the box ahead of that car, they've not been calling that a penalty, only if it rolls toward pit lane.
And plus,
that was the explanation I received.
And plus they returned that tire to the pit before he left, so the team did a great job of recovering from that little issue.
And keeping in mind, no pro system this weekend because it's a standalone event for the Camping World Truck Series under caution for the 3rd time.
Problems for our race leader at Texas Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Eric Jones has had the dominant truck tonight, but right now he's got a problem, a voltage issue. They brought him in to change the battery. He got the battery out of the truck, but didn't have the other one handy to put in to replace it. So that's what is taking so long to get this battery change done. Boy, a major issue, major problem for the 4 team for Kyle Busch Motorsports and Eric Jones.
Remember when I said he was out front leading the race, wondering what might go wrong tonight? Well, something just went bad wrong. You should be able to change that battery before losing a lap, and that team is now on a lap.
Well, we could see them. They took the battery out and they turned around. They didn't have the other battery to put in. Now, he lost a lap. He's going to have to start at the back of the pack. He pitted twice, so he's not going to be able to move up.
Where'd the battery go?
Nope. Rudy Fugel's wanting to know where our spare battery is supposed to be, because it obviously wasn't in the right place. They didn't have it. Cost Eric Jones a lap with 82 laps to go. He certainly has a strong enough truck to overcome that, but they put themselves in a hole.
Phil, you know, we talk about this all the time. You make a mistake in the first half of the race, you've got a chance to overcome that in the Truck Series and maybe win the race. It's nearly halfway. He's a lap down. That's a big mistake. I don't know if they can overcome it or not.
Yeah, right now he needs to get to the front of the lead of the lap down trucks, try to catch a caution flag, get the free pass, get back on the lead lap.
So I'm looking at this, and Cameron Haley was the first truck 1 lap down when the caution came out. He gets the free pass, restarts in the 12th position. And we'll keep an eye on Eric Jones and the progress he can make as we go back green, completing lap 86 at Texas. We're past halfway for the Camping World Truck Series.
What about the possibilities that opens up for a race winner tonight? Matt Craftsman obviously very strong. He was in pursuit of Eric Jones. But the 19 truck of Tyler Reddick, look at Daniel Hemrick racing his way into the 2nd spot. There's Daniel Suarez. This could be a free-for-all, Phil.
Remember, not everybody came to pit road, but everybody pitted from lap 7. Daniel Hemrick was the guy that pitted the farthest back at lap 70, and he can make it the rest of the way. Everybody now can make it on one more stop.
But they've got to make that one more stop, and we've seen issues coming to pit road, especially under green, is so difficult.
Look at this battle for second.
Suarez takes it over, but Hemrick's got a good run on the outside trying to hold off John West Townley.
And not far behind them, Tyler Reddick, who had the penalty driving through too many pit stalls on exit a while ago as he came to serve his debt. Caution came out. Huge break for them. They're in the 7th position and can go longer on fuel than anybody in front of them.
With the freshest tires, too, of the people in front of him. His teammate, Austin Theriault, behind him, pitted on lap number 74. His tires are about 10 laps older.
And you can see just behind Theriault, that's Ben Kennedy. He's made his way up to the top 10, so rebounding from a really loose truck at the start of the race to be competitive. But look at Reddick. Is he going to take it 3-wide? He looked to the inside of Timothy Peters, who races alongside of Joe Nemechek. This truck is fast. He's coming.
And I think he wants to use those new tires while he has them, too. He's going to slide in behind Nemechek now. He's all the way up to the 8th spot. Nemechek right now in 7th.
And keeping an eye on Eric Jones, you said he would need a caution, Phil. Yes, he would. but right now he wouldn't get the free pass. He's the third truck in line of those one lap down, racing Spencer Gallagher and the 0-2 of Tyler Young for that free pass position.
Yeah, he's got to get by Spencer Gallagher, that blue truck in the middle of the racetrack, in the middle of that three-wide battle, as well as Tyler Young. Eric Jones is on his way. Looks like he's going to get Gallagher. He's got to go after the 0-2 now of Tyler Young.
You can see Young running up there ahead of Austin Terrio. And there he is on the inside of Ben Kennedy.
He's passing Ben Kennedy, who's 10th on track. So you know Jones has got a fast truck. It's just a matter of being able to get back on the lead lap. If he can do that, get a pit stop, he'd be right back in business. Craftsman leads it 0.8 of a second in front of second place Daniel Suarez. Hemrick continues in third. John West Townley having a career night is fourth, and Johnny Sauter, a two-time Texas winner, completes the top 5.
Yeah, watch this Sauter truck. We talked to him earlier today. He said he was very confident about the way this thing is handling. And look at the run he got off turn 2. Was able to really close down on John West Townley. Sauter's won here before. He's really solid on every track. Loves Texas, though.
Doug George has had a couple opportunities to adjust on that next to Aerospace Toyota. See Timothy Peters. Remember, Timothy Peters was on pit road this most recent caution flag, so he probably has fresh tires as he drives around the outside of Sauter.
This is 4th, 5th, and 6th. Townley in the blue and yellow 05 4th. Peters coming through to get 5th. Shuffles Sauter back to the 6th position.
How cool is it to say Timothy Peters racing along with John West Townley up in the top 5? John West has just done a really good job of getting better and better. Some accidents early in his career, maybe more than normal, more than you would have thought of. He's got that all behind him now. He's steady, solid, up in the top 5 in points, and he's racing for wins now.
Also running over in the NASCAR Xfinity Series on a part-time basis, top 15 in 3 of the last 4 events. The track time is paying huge dividends for this Georgia native, and we're seeing it here tonight.
But he's got his hands full now. Timothy Peters once by, Johnny Sauter once by, so it's a good battle for the 4th spot.
Remember, these guys are trying to position themselves for the end of this race here. We've only got 74 laps to go, 73 now, and they go by quick.
Looking at Eric Jones, he's now fallen back to 15th again. He's now the 3rd truck in line when you look at the lap down vehicle, so he stays out of that position as far as getting the free pass should we get a caution here, Vince.
Eric Jones still having the voltage issue, reporting to Rudy Fugle, his crew chief, that the light is still flashing at him just as it was prior to the battery change. They now believe it's an alternator issue because the change of the battery did nothing for the 4 of Eric Jones. So maybe more problems coming their way, unfortunately, for Eric Jones fans.
Yeah, it did something for a while, Phil, and maybe if the alternators broke, you would have thought the battery. Let's listen on board and see if we can hear it missing. It would cut out at a high RPM.
I don't hear any miss, but remember, I don't think they changed tires. I think they came down pit road and only changed the battery. So he's racing around a couple people that have a little bit fresher tires than he does. We saw him get by Spencer Gallagher. Spencer Gallagher passed him back and then passed Tyler Young. First, now Spencer Gallagher is in the free pass spot.
Eric Jones started on the pole, dominating this race, leading 68 laps. Had to make an unscheduled pit stop, lost a lap, and now find themselves in the 16th position. Sports 2, we're streaming the action at Fox Sports Go. Matt Craftsman, the race leader here at Texas Motor Speedway. Second right now is Daniel Suarez. Third, Daniel Hemrick, Timothy Peters, Johnny Sauter complete the top 5. Another one of the players in this race is Tyler Reddick. He's had some adversity, but finds himself now in the 6th position. And the guy that has dominated this evening, Eric Jones, lost a lap. They've had some mechanical issues. He's 1 lap down right now, Vince. What's the latest?
Well, remember, they came in and changed the battery because they had a voltage issue. Shortly thereafter, when Eric Jones got back out on the track, this was his report.
Don't understand why they change batteries. It's still blinking red, you know? Yep, that's all. I know. The new one, the alternator's broke. Alternator's not charging. That's working.
The one thing that I took from that, guys, was the urgency and the tone and the voice of Eric Jones. Very difficult, and they told him from the spotter stand and also the crew chief Fox to focus on the task at hand, because you can tell just in the tone of his voice, distracted in that cockpit, not going to be a fast race car driver.
Yeah, and he's second place right now when you look at the vehicles one lap down. And the comparison of 14 to 15 for Kyle Busch Motorsports, simply amazing through the first 6 races.
Yeah, we talked about at the very top of the show their dominance last year. 4 of the first 6 races, they go to victory lane. They've been dominant this year, but they haven't been able to close the deal.
You see the average finish there, and you don't see laps led, but the laps led not that far off when you compare 2014 to 2015. The team's got fast vehicles, just simply can't find the racing luck through the first half dozen races of the year. And don't rule out a win tonight. Daniel Suarez is running in the second position right now.
Yeah, and his lap times have been comparable, even gaining a little bit on our leader, Matt Craftsman. You can see John West Talley. That truck's slipping back, Phil. He's back to the 9th position. Caitlin, he's fallen back in the back half of the top 10. What are they reporting?
He has, but he has been running within the top 10 for most of the day, and he really does like this racetrack. He ran well in the truck at the other mile-and-a-half tracks we visited so far this year. His crew chief, Michael Shelton, told me that they felt really good as soon as they unloaded this truck. The biggest issue he is dealing with right now is tight in traffic, more so off of turn 2. And the team told me if this race stays green, they will have to pit on lap 124, and the big goal for them will to be loosening up that truck for his liking.
You can see the run here, though. That's Eric Jones. We talked about Eric being a lap down. Spencer Gallagher is driven away from Eric, but Eric's got an okay running truck right now. His light's flashing on his alternator because it isn't charging, but that battery should still power the truck for a while. He made it to halfway on the first battery, so he should be fine to finish this race. If not, they can put another battery in, they'll be better prepared next time. So he's got a chance if he could just run down that blue truck at the bottom of the screen there. That's who he's got to get in the free pass position. And so far, he's not been able to close down on Gallagher. Strong run for Gallagher in this part of the race.
We saw him pass Gallagher early on after the restart. Then Gallagher passed him back and drove away from him. And you see right there, he's catching Gallagher now. I looked before, he was about a half a straightaway behind about 3 or 4 laps ago, and he's coming now.
Well, he's also got to hope that Matt Crafton doesn't put anyone else a lap down. The next in line for Crafton would be the 54 of Justin Boston, who is 18 seconds behind our race leader.
Yeah, we've got a cushion there because it'll about 14 seconds more cushion because it takes about 32 seconds to get around here. So if Eric Jones can get up there, he will, and pass Gallagher, he will be in position to get that free pass for a number of laps here if he can catch a caution flag.
And the other thing on the line here, championship points. If you're Eric Jones, you realize there's not much you can do to get in the top 10 unless you can get back on the lead lap. Once you do that, you can start gaining some more championship points. And right now, Matt Crafton in a position to leave here with a nice cushion.
See Matt Crafton, he's moved up to the middle of the racetrack. I like what I'm seeing. Watch the line that Eric Jones has discovered. See how big the blue truck in front of him is now? That's who he's after. Watch this line he's running. Way up on the high side.
And he's the fastest truck on the racetrack by far right now. He was 0.4 of a second faster than our leader, Matt Crafton, as we watch this battle for 5th. Tyler Reddick trying to get by Johnny Sauter.
He's going to make that move, glued right to the bottom of the road. That's what's so fun about this Texas Motor Speedway line. The drivers love it so much. You can make time up there on top where you see Eric Jones getting ready to get the free pass position away from Spencer Gallagher, or you can run around the bottom like Reddick was doing, passing Johnny Sauter and taking that 4th position away.
Eric Jones trying to get back to 13th overall in the running order, but more importantly, as Michael just pointed out, the first truck 1 lap down. So should we get a caution, he would get the free pass, get back on the lead lap, and be back in the game with right around 50 laps to go.
I think his crew telling him to focus and just forget about the light flashing. It must have flashed a light in his head because that truck has gotten significantly faster over the last 10 or 15 laps. He started running up the hill, adjusted his line, and is focused and is driving the truck to the front.
0.2 of a second faster than our leader, Matt Crafton, that last lap while he was passing Spencer Gallagher.
All the guys in the top 5, last on pit road, lap 75, lap 80. Won't be long before a cycle of green flag pit stops. The crew's going to go to action when we continue here on Fox Sports 1.
18-year-old Eric Jones, perhaps on his way to his 5th just sucks. We had by far the best truck.
Once again, Jeff, he's built up a huge lead over the rest of the field.
Eric Jones is really in a league of his own.
It's going to be a photo finish, sliding sideways at the line. Casey Kane wins it at Charlotte
By 1/1000th of a second.
You saw the celebration. Now you see the disappointment.
It just sucks. Fastest truck loses the race again 2 weeks in a row.
Top three pretty much nose to tailgate.
Eric Jones crosses the line third.
Eric Jones led 57% of the last 3 races without a win.
That's heartbreaking.
It's devastating.
A lot of disappointment in recent weeks for Eric Jones. In our final cycle of green flag pit stops underway. 48 laps to go. Matt Crafton on pit road getting service.
He's going to be a little bit vulnerable, Ron, to make sure they get it full with 48 laps to go. He's going to be a little bit vulnerable for a while because he's going to be a lap down till some of these other trucks come to pit road. And remember, right now, Timothy Peters running second. He pitted about 10 laps after Matt Crafton. He pitted on that lap caution flag as Suarez leads. How about the 14 truck, Vince?
The 14 of Daniel Hemrick pitting from a top 5 position. It's been a great night for Hemrick and his 14 group. 4-tire change, chassis adjustment, still trying to give him the balance he needs to move from top 5 to potential winner.
This is a guy that needed to be on pit road. John West Townley, he had fallen outside, Phil, the top 10. That truck really went away in the long run, so that team will put on 4 tires, and hopefully it'll come back to life.
Having a little bit of trouble getting that second can plugged in. Look at, he's still fighting with it. Meanwhile, John West Townley just sits on pit road waiting.
Came in top 5 in the championship standings. Going to lose a lot of ground here with 46 laps to go. Left of your screen, Daniel Suarez had taken over the race lead. You saw him off the pace. He will come down pit road. Scheduled stop for the 51. Going to happen at lap 122. He's headed your way, Vince.
The balance has been the issue with this 51 truck throughout the course of the evening. Just too loose for Suarez to be completely comfortable with. But he has been able to run up front. Is it good enough to get to the checkered flag into victory lane? Not sure yet. Balance has been the key. 4-tire change for the 51 of Suarez and a chassis adjustment. Caitlin.
The 98 team of Johnny Sauter has been relying on the exact same setup that the 88 team of Matt Crafton has been running this weekend. His biggest feedback on the radio has been the truck is plowing. It's still too tight. It was a Ford tire and fuel stop for that 98 machine.
All of these scheduled green flag pit stops with just over 40 laps to go. The race lead now goes to Timothy Peters. Tyler Reddick is second. Joe Nemechek, Cameron Haley, Justin Boston, the top 5. They will all have to make a pit stop here in the next few laps. Here's Austin Theriault for his service, Vince.
Loose in, tight off. Well, I wish I had $1 for every time I've heard that up and down pit lane tonight. You see the chassis adjustment on the right side. The 4-tire change for the Brad Keselowski machine. Theriault and the 19 of Tyler Reddick, both solid runs tonight, but fighting different issues. We'll see what they've got for the stretch after this stop.
As he exits pit road, we await Peters and Reddick, who are now 1-2. Matt Crafton actually had fallen a lap down in this cycle after he made his pit stop. He's now gotten himself back on the lead lap. First truck 1 lap down, scored in 7th, is Eric Jones. He last was on pit road in lap 84. We'll see how long they try to stretch it here, hoping for a caution and a spot back on the lead lap.
There's your fastest truck on the track, Tyler Reddick. Fastest the ones that hadn't pitted anyway. He's closing in on Timothy Peters as Joe Nemechek brings that number 8 to pit road.
Jordan Weed his way up to the 3rd spot. Pitted about 52 laps ago. This should be his last pit stop if we stay green the rest of the way.
See the adjustment to the left rear, the team going to that corner of the truck to try to tune on it so Joe can go faster. Good pit stop and Joe's away.
And left of your screen, Tyler Reddick trying to get all he can as he runs out this set of tires before coming to pit road and making his scheduled green flag stop.
And you know, that could become an advantage, Phil, if there's not a caution. He's going to have fresher tires near the end of the race. He'd have tendencies to see green-white checkers. Oh, here he comes. He's going to gear down here along with Timothy Peters. And your goal as a driver is to close on the truck ahead of you before you get to pit road. And that's exactly what Reddick did.
Almost hit him in the tail end.
That was awesome.
Here's Timothy Peters, Caitlin.
The race leader is in. Timothy Peters giving feedback on the radio that it's still free, tight off of 3. They're doing 1 round on the left rear and a 4-tire stop. Vince.
The 19 of Tyler Reddick, a 2-time winner this season. He won last week at Dover. Just 19 years old, one of the trucks to beat here tonight. Recovered from a pit lane penalty and has raced his way back up into the top 5. Doug Randolph, the crew chief, says 4 tires, no other changes. The 19 truck is good. Is it good enough? We're going to find out.
That may have been the best pit stop we've seen. You see him beat Timothy Peters out of the pits.
He also beat Timothy Peters into the pits. He gained a lot of ground on Peters getting to pit road, and I think he got him slowed down, but wow, watch how close it is. Peters getting a woe down for that speeding line. Reddick slides, and you see just his time. He stayed on the brakes longer.
If he would have maintained this speed right here, he probably would have been speeding in that segment, but he just about stopped because he knew he was too fast at the line.
Well, he got into pit road without a problem, but Phil, we're getting a report. Too fast exiting.
Oh, no.
Second time tonight, Reddick has been penalized leaving the pit lane. Earlier, exiting through too many pit stalls, and here, too fast. This will be a huge blow with 38 laps left.
You can see he was past the that's just a mental mistake.
Yeah.
He was past the cone when he let off.
For too fast exiting.
He knew that he had messed up, but it was too late.
Pass-through penalty for Tyler Reddick. And what you have to do here, maintain your composure and not speed again, because if you speed while you're paying your debt for speeding, you have a stop and go the next time around.
Let's don't pile on here. Let's just take our medicine here, take the penalty, hope we catch a caution flag.
We're racing for a championship, Phil. That's what's on the line here. Maybe a win tonight, but the bigger picture's a championship. These kind of mistakes can cost you that.
Couple of rookies out front. Cameron Haley is leading this race, is not pitted since lap 84. He'll have to come again. Same for second place, Justin Boston. Here comes the 13 of Haley now. Boston in that red and black 54 going to take over the top spot. Third is Matt Craftsman, and Eric Jones also going to have to make a pit stop. Here comes Haley. Caitlin?
Well, just like so many other competitors tonight, the biggest feedback Cameron Haley has given his team is tight off the corner. They're working to try and get him a little bit more comfortable in the middle. It'll be a 4-tire stop for the 13 team here today.
And Eric Jones did make his pit stop. It came a couple of laps ago. 130 is when he came for service. He continues to be a lap down. In fact, now he's fallen down the line. He is not the first truck 1 lap down as you see Eric Jones exiting the pit lane here.
That's what a long green flag run will do to you when you're in that free pass position. The leaders just start to lap more trucks, and it just makes it really difficult.
So it's all cycled back through to Matt Craftsman. His advantage now over second place Daniel Suarez, 6.8 seconds. It was 1.9 before the cycle of green flag pit stops began. Craftsman in charge again here at Texas Motor Speedway. Don Cole, 29 land laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway for the Camping World Truck Series. Matt Craftsman started on the front row. He leads this race over second place Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick with a great battle going on right now with Daniel Suarez as they continue to trade that runner-up position. And there you see Suarez now back up to P2. Johnny Sauter is fourth. Timothy Peters now in the 5th position.
Watch this line that Hemrick is running and the momentum he gained exiting the corner. Really high, and he's able to run down the straightaway faster because of that. This is a great battle, like you mentioned, Adam.
We saw Eric Jones really pick up some time when he moved up the racetrack. That's exactly the same line right now that Daniel Hemrick's running. But Daniel Suarez realizes that too and said, if I take his line away, he might not be able to pass me. Meanwhile, Eric Jones has had to come back to pit road for another battery change, and he finds himself in the 16th spot, 3 laps down.
Yeah, if you're just joining us on this Friday night, Jones fast again, started on the pole, led 68 laps, but as Phil mentioned, they've had problems with that battery, and now back in the 16th position, and right in front of him on our scoring monitor, Tyler Reddick. Qualified 16th, no problem, drove up to the top 5, but he's been penalized twice on the pit lane. He's 15th, and both those guys going to lose points to Craftsman if the thing doesn't change before we get the checkered flag.
And what's got to be so frustrating for Tyler Reddick, you see him going to the outside of his teammate, Austin Terrio, is He's running a second faster than the leader, basically. That truck is flying around this racetrack. You see him bottoming out down in the corner and just going to town. But it's too little too late, Phil. He can't overcome a 2-lap deficit with just 26 laps to go.
And you would say, no big surprise, a 19-year-old being penalized a couple of times. They make mental mistakes. Not really the case with a California driver. Coming into this, the 7th race of the year, only 1 penalty all season for Tyler Reddick. He was caught speeding at Atlanta. What are they saying now, Vince?
Well, it's actually gone from bad to worse for Tyler Reddick. You know, he had the penalty for going through too many pit boxes. Then he had the too fast exiting penalty. And then after he served that penalty, they had to bring him in again because he had a loose wheel. Wow. So it's piling on the 19 of Tyler Reddick.
And with all of that and this long green flag run, only 9 trucks on the lead lap. Suarez and Hemrick behind leader Matt Crafton. They're 5 seconds behind the race lead. Then it's Sauter and Peters in the top 5. Good night for Joe Nemechek in the 8 truck. He's 6th. Austin Terrio doing an outstanding job. Qualified 6th. He's 7th right now. Ben Kennedy and John West Townley, the other vehicles on the lead lap with 24 remaining.
That's right along with this Chevrolet on board with Joe Nemechek. We mentioned earlier, Joe has an Xfinity win here back a number of years ago. Was really, really good. I think he had a 3rd place finish last year here in this race, and doing a nice job running just outside the top 5.
He's running in the 6th position. His lap times are good, but look what's getting ready to come by him. This 19 truck is flying. I know he's frustrated, and sometimes when you're frustrated, you drive harder and you just hang on. I think that's what that kid's doing.
And as you mentioned, when he finds himself 2 laps down right now, is not going to be able to overcome this.
You look at Joe Nemechek spotting for him tonight. His son, John Hunter, who turns 18 next week, and he will be driving that 8 truck the rest of 2015. We look forward to that.
Oh, I can't wait. This kid's exciting. He's young, he's energetic, and he has got a lot of talent behind the wheel. We're going to have a lot of fun covering John Hunter's run toward victory lane, and I think he's going to win in 2015. He showed me that he has everything it takes to do just that.
Remember how good he was at Gateway last year? Where are we going next week?
Gateway.
Gateway, exactly.
That could be the gateway to his first victory.
Of course, you can watch all the action next weekend from St. Louis right here on Fox Sports 1. Look at Timothy Peters, who's been top 10 in 3 races this year. The 3-mile-and-a-half events, and here they are again running solid, Caitlin.
That's absolutely right, Adam. They have had those 3 top 10s, but it's been an up-and-down year for these guys. They've also had 3 finishes of 18th or worse. One of those came last week at Dover, but here this weekend, a different story. He finds himself running in the top 5. The feedback he's given to his team is that it's a little bit tight on entry, but his crew chief, Marcus Richam, told him go after that 98. They're looking to pick off a little more race cars.
He's got an issue, Caitlin. There's sparks coming out from under.
Smoking now.
He's smoking. I think you heard him say the temperatures are 320, and that thing's going to blow up.
Yeah, he's blowing up. What a tough break for Timothy Peters. A good solid top 5 run going. Going to continue his march up the points ladder.
And it happens as we get our Camping World 20 to go. And if he stays on track, we're going to get a caution. And that's not what Matt Crafton wants with a lead late. And there it is. 4th yellow flag of the night here at Texas. And you know what that means. A little restart with the top spot on the line.
Yeah, let's come in and get some tires.
Well, we got to do that.
Yeah, with 20 laps to go, we've saved that set for about 20 laps to go. We're going to have about a 20-lap shootout here.
This might be the best Camping World 20 to go ever. We get a caution right on top of it. Tires on pit lane. Guys on differing agendas. Ooh, it's going to get good.
We're going to be all on the same agenda now. I think we're all going to come and get 4 tires on pit road. We only have 9 trucks right now on the lead lap. One of those is Timothy Peters.
Great truck, Marcus. Good pit strategy.
He's probably not going to be able to continue.
Hey, and a big break here for one of our Rookie of the Year contenders, Justin Boston. First truck 1 lap down. He will now get the free pass and rejoin those drivers that will run for the top spot here down the stretch.
Pits are closed as Peters brings that number 17 truck to the garage area. There's Boston. He'll be back on the lead lap. Great run for that young man. See the bright orange and green truck ahead of Eric Jones there. That's Daniel Hemrick. He's in the 3rd position.
What an outstanding run for him. His best career finish at Dover last week, 4th. May be able to better that tonight.
There's Johnny Sauter. Steady Johnny. He's up in the top 5. just behind Boston. There's some great stories up inside the top 10.
Here's what I love about Daniel Hemrick, and we've talked about him a lot tonight, but as a rookie continuing to get better. His career best finish was at Kansas when he was 10th, and then we go to Dover last week, top 5 for the first time, 4th position, running top 3 here tonight. Anytime you can continue to take steps at different types of tracks, it shows the growth for a young driver.
And the steps are big. I mean, he's racing now for a win, and what a great kid, too. Everybody that runs across him has nothing but wonderful things to say about his attitude and his energy toward this sport. And that's why I love this truck series so much. There's so many young guys coming along now that you just want to be around. You want to know more about them because of not only their talent, but their attitude, their appreciation for the opportunity to get to race in NASCAR.
And that guy right there that we were looking at, Matt Craftsman, said, why do we have to have a caution? Had me a nice solid lead here, headed for victory number 3, and now I'm going to have to race all these guys.
It was that long green flag run a year ago that led to his victory here at Texas. Went 61 laps on a fuel load, did Matt Craftsman tonight, and he's going to have to earn it in the short go.
This one's going to look a lot different if he's able to pull off the victory, because he's going to have to make a sprint to the checker, and we know that outside line is there. We've seen guys up there. We know the bottom is there, so it's going to be a free-for-all.
Maybe the battle off pit road may dictate who has the advantage here when we get towards the end of this thing.
Well, Craftsman's team has done an amazing job. We saw him increase his lead when he came to pit road last time. The team is solid. Right behind him, Suarez, he's got the Gibbs boys working for him. Be interesting to see if Hemrick can hold serve from that 3rd spot.
Pit road is open, and here they come.
Money stop. 17 laps to go. The race leader is Matt Craftsman. He's coming your way, Caitlin.
He is, in the communication between him and his crew chief, Junior Joyner. He said, you're going to have to hold off that 51 of Daniel Suarez. And Matt said, we should be fine if we can fire off. The plan here for this 88 machine is for a 4-tire stop. Other than that, Matt seems very happy with this truck. Vince.
Daniel Hemrick, center of your screen, career best finish last week, working on another one this week. The truck has gotten better. Last time around, he said, couldn't hold the bottom quite the way he wanted, but no changes. Daniel Suarez, loose in, a little snug in the center for Suarez. A 4-tire change for Suarez as well. Matt Craftsman easily the first one off pit road, followed by Suarez and then Hemrick.
They came in 1, 2, 3. They leave 1, 2, 3. We'll reset the running order when we return. A late race restart could be the difference tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. It looked like Matt Craftsman was going to drive away to his 3rd win of the year here at Texas Motor Speedway, but a caution comes out with just under 20 laps to go. Everyone comes down pit road, and we're going to get a restart somewhere around 14 laps remaining. And when we do, the running order will be this: Matt Craftsman, Daniel Suarez on the front row, Daniel Hemrick, Johnny Sauter, row 2, Joe Nemechek, John West Townley, the top 6 vehicles. There will be 10 of them on the lead lap, although we're going to have some trucks take the wave around, so that number could change a bit before we get the green flag. And keep this in mind as we look at our scoring monitor. The final lead change came with 8 to go or less in the last 4 races this season for the Camping World Truck Series. And when we came here last October, final lead change with 2 laps to go. This one far from over as we get our 1 to go signal.
Yeah, there goes Eric Jones around Phil, and he's going to get back to just 1 lap down. Or is he?
I think he was 3, but that'll put him 2, because he was in front of the leader when he came across the line, showing 2 laps down.
So he left and went around to come on the back of the field, and he'll be 2 laps down from there. So he has his work cut out for him, along with Tyler Reddick. Need some quick cautions here, and be interesting to see if that would happen.
You see him getting lined up for the restart here with 14 to go. Now our Ram guts and glory, no-brainer. Pit road been a place that's decided this race in so many ways. Good news for the 88 team holding serve on that last stop.
They've really been solid this entire race. That Menards crew led by Junior Joyner, they really haven't lost a thing on pit road. That's how you win championships, and they've won 2 of them.
Craftsman, like every other restart tonight, and also going back to the start of the race, the race leader, the control truck, has taken that outside lane. But Suarez in a position we've not really seen him in tonight. He's been aggressive on restarts. Keep an eye on that orange 51 starting to his left. And how about ThorSport teammates nose to tail in that outside lane for the restart?
And these kids up front that are lined up against the veterans, Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter, they can taste the victory. They're that close to winning in NASCAR.
14 to go at Texas. Green flag back in the air.
Great start by Suarez. He's able to pull out on Matt Crafton.
He's got Hemrick right behind him, pushing.
See him drifting up the track, trying to get a little side draft, maybe off the 88.
He better keep her tucked low, Adam. That thing have a tendency to get really loose. You can see Daniel Hemrick pulling right up on the back of Matt Crafton. Crafton's hoping for a push down the back straightaway.
I thought Hemrick was going to push the 51. As you said, he drifted to the high lane, and now he's looking to make it 3 wide, getting way out in the gray. Crafton trying to make it happen as Hemrick smoking off of turn 4.
That could be low air pressure. A
little bit of a tire rub with low air pressure.
Here's Suarez for the race lead. A runner-up last week at Dover. He wants the checkered flag tonight.
And look at Hemrick. He's giving it all he's got. He's going in a lane no one else is at. And Johnny Sauter.
Suarez sideways.
There was contact coming off of turn 2. Suarez not going away as they head to 3.
He's going to be really loose down on the bottom. We've talked about that. We saw it there.
Crafton trying to clear him, and Suarez not going to let it happen.
Look at that run.
Can he clear him here? 12 laps to go.
Crafton's giving him room. He knows Suarez is very, very aggressive and trying to take the lead. And he knows also that Suarez can get loose underneath of him. Crafton's doing all he can do to hold the lead and try to figure out what that young man inside of him is going to do.
Waiting in the wings, Johnny Sauter, who's looking for his first win of 2015.
Wow, look at the job Crafton does to pull away and make the pass.
Crafton able to clear him. 11 laps to go. Now the question becomes, can he hold him off?
Watch this contact.
This is 2 or 3 laps to go. Watch Suarez get really loose here. Watch that truck get sideways.
Look at Crafton. He just knows that he's got to give him some room down there because
he could feel it. He could feel it.
He could just tell that trouble was looming down there.
Suarez not only saved it, he maintained his momentum and stayed right beside the 88, who is now cleared and starting to drive away. Next battle could be for second. Sauter looking underneath Suarez, and don't give up on Daniel Hemrick. He's right there as well.
Look at those 4 trucks that are just giving it all they've got to try to run down Matt Crafton. Sauter's got a fast truck. He's going to try to get to the inside of of Suarez. And here comes Hemrick on the high side.
And what about John West Townley? Remember that long stop they had? Thought it took him out of contention, perhaps back in the top 5. That 05 vehicle really has been strong all night long.
Yeah, comes in here top 5 in points. Going to be a good night for them. Going to be a great night for Matt Crafton, though, if he can hold these guys off for about 8 more laps.
And it's going to be good for Johnny Sauter as well, realizing he's not going to gain on the overall lead with Crafton out front as they run right now, but he's going to make up a huge distance on Eric Jones and Tyler Reddick, who came in leading in front of him as far as the championship points are concerned, 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, he was sitting at 40 points out, but he had 3 guys that were way out in front of him. He's going to gain a lot of ground, getting a little bit more in touch with them. It's easier to make up points on 1 guy than it is 3 guys.
Looking at some of the drivers running inside the top 10. Austin Terrio is 7th right now. He's had a great night in his first trip to Texas. As we look at the battle for 3rd, Rookie of the Year contender Daniel Hemrick inside of Johnny Sauter. Can he make it happen?
Loose.
No. Look at him handle that truck.
He might have a flat tire, Phil. That fender rubbing on his tire we saw earlier has resulted in a flat tire. Oh, and he's going to get run over.
Nemechek inside, outside Terrio. Problems for Daniel Hemrick with 7 laps to go.
Oh, he's going to spin out.
And we're going to get another caution.
Hold the brakes, hold the brakes.
He did all he could to save that truck and got down on the apron in turns 1 and 2, and around they went. And what is that man thinking?
You've got to be kidding me is what he's thinking.
You got to be kidding. We're going to have to do that again. And remember, they were dead even for 3 or 4 laps after that restart, and we're going to have about 3 or 4 laps to go.
You can see the left rear tire soft
it's already flat right there. An amazing job to hold on to that truck down the front straightaway here.
An amazing young talent Daniel Hemrick is, and you can see it there. That all happened at about 170 miles an hour. And look at the job this man does. Joe Nemechek, he has to just at the last second guess which way Hemrick was going. A veteran move there.
And I'm looking here, and I think it looks like, according to our monitor, first truck 1 lap down, the 19 of Tyler Reddick. All he's been through tonight, and he's going to have a chance to gain some ground here. It would be huge for them.
And he comes to pit road, gets some tires, pumps the air pressure up a little bit to qualifying air pressures, and he's got a shot at gaining some spots. I don't think he's a contender for the win, but he's got a shot maybe to get up just maybe to the top 5 even.
What's going on with Eric Jones now, Vince?
Looks like
well, Eric Jones a couple of laps down, but back into the pits. It has been an eventful night, and they're changing the battery again. By my count, that's 3 times they've been working on the battery. Again, led 68 laps, looked like he had the dominant truck, but once again, not going to be his night.
And it looks like Matt Crafton is going to be the guy that leads the most laps in tonight's race. You talked about Eric Jones, who had been out front for 68 circuits. Despite all the problems they have faced, Matt Crafton, dominating the second half of this event, has now been out front for 72 laps himself, and that's not going to change prior to us getting the green flag, so he's pretty much solidified that bonus point. And as we say that, he crosses the start-finish line again. 73 laps led for Matt Crafton. He's going to lead the most laps here this evening.
How fast did they change that battery this time on that Ford truck? Rudy Frugal and his guys, an amazing job there. He came in really late with a field over on the backstretch, and they didn't lose a lap this time.
There's Hemrick with the flat left rear.
Stays on the lead lap, dude. Did a nice job staying on the lead lap even after that spin.
Well, the job he did when the tire went flat coming off off turn 4 was amazing.
So he stays on the lead lap. Tyler Reddick will get his lap back. He came to pit road. I do believe he came down the pit lane. And those will be guys to watch. Yes, he did. What's the story on Johnny Sauter? He's going to restart third, Caitlin.
Well, Adam, he's feeling like maybe on that last pit stop that the 98 team over-adjusted a little bit on this truck. Not too happy on the radio.
We just got off on that interliner adjustment and got behind. That's the bottom line. Screwed ourselves. We're too tight.
Still feeling too tight conditions on that 98 truck, but he is still sitting in the top 5 right there in the 3rd position.
You know, Phil, they have an interliner, a tire within a tire, and the teams adjust the pressure in that tire in order to adjust how the car, or excuse me, how the truck handles. And you can really change the handling of your truck by how much air you put in the interliner. What's going on pit road with the 19 there, Vince?
Boy, could anything else happen to the 19 tonight? They've had all kind of issues. They just came in, changed 4 tires, but when they pushed Tyler Reddick off, the truck stalled, and they couldn't get it refired. They pushed for a while, couldn't get it fired, and now he's got to get some help from the truck.
Wow, I'll be darned. Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones have had one of those nights. It's a nightmare is what it's turned into for those two. Just problem after problem.
Well, and we'll see what this does to impede their progress as far as being able to get back on the lead lap. And I think stalling out there, they're going to go back to 1 lap down, which really hurts their opportunities to make up ground here.
Yeah, the field went by when he was sitting on pit road, so he will not be on the lead lap. What a horrible break.
Just when you thought everything had come full circle and they were going to have an opportunity to make a play late in this race and salvage some points, the truck stalls out, you lose the lap you gain via the caution, and now you find yourself 1 lap down. And if you thought tonight was entertaining, wait till next Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern at Gateway.
We're going to go short track racing next Saturday night, and that place is a fun racetrack for these racers to be on. We're talking speeds 150, 160 miles an hour down into some tight corners. The action really picks up at Gateway.
Short track racing on a 1.25-mile track.
It makes me smile just sitting here thinking about it. You can stand in the grandstands and look over your shoulder and see the arch. What a beautiful racetrack and what competitive racing we see there.
Here's something I'm thinking about on this restart. All night long is the race leader. You take the outside lane when you're the control truck. But I'm thinking about Matt Crafton here as we get the 1 to go. He does take the outside lane, but his teammate, who is now 3rd, going to be inside. That's Johnny Sauter, who could give a push to Daniel Suarez here.
Well, you you got to go with where you think your truck is the best, and that's where Craftsman got the lead. But I'm telling you, Phil, on the initial start, when they gunned those trucks, the 51 of Daniel Suarez got an advantage on Craftsman and nearly turned that advantage into taking the lead away. So this is going to be intense. Suarez has one more restart under his belt, a little bit more experienced than he was the last time he went up against Matt Craftsman. This is going to be good.
Remember, they were side by side for 2 or 3 laps after the restart. That's all we have left in this race.
What about our finish on our last mile and a half? Side by side for 2 or 3 laps, and Casey Kane wins by a nose.
That one ended with a green-white checker. Now this one will be a 2-lap shootout, but not accounting against our allotment of green-white checker attempts, because when we go green with 2 to go, it will be the last 2 of regulation. Should we get another caution here, then we would start talking about overtime.
And, you know, Matt Craftsman's racing for a championship. Daniels just wants to win the race, and we saw a sideways truck. There was contact. Craftsman has to be cognizant of that. He has to understand that Daniels going to do anything he can to win this race. Matt's got a championship to try to win.
Green flag with 2 laps to go. Row 1, Matt Craftsman. Alongside Daniel Suarez. Row 2, John West Townley with Johnny Sauter. Time to make it happen here at Texas.
Look at that start by Suarez. He did a perfect job. He laid back. You heard the spotter calling it. And he parlayed it into a nose of an advantage into 1. Crowds Craftsman up the track and then dives to the bottom.
Craftsman's going to crowd him down the track, try to get him loose down there.
Got to watch Johnny Sauter right behind him. So is John West Townley.
Look at Daniel Hemrick. He was 3 wide on the outside with those fresh left side tires. He's coming.
Townley trying to make it 3 wide, looking outside. Craftsman trying to nose around. He grabs the top spot as they come off turn 4. They'll see the white flag this time by.
Very nice. Drive away. Clear 2, white.
Oh, that sounds so good. Drive away, clear 2, white flag. Everything's perfect for Matt Craftsman right now, but Daniel Suarez isn't done yet. He's going to try the high line.
Great battle for 3rd. Johnny Sauter on the inside. John West Townley on the outside. That yellow truck.
Matt Craftsman trying to win his 3rd consecutive championship in the Camping World Truck Series. He's the model of consistency. And when it comes to mile and a half, he's unbeatable. 3rd win of the year. Craftsman does it at Texas.
Bring it to us. Good job, everybody.
Daniel Suarez, John West Townley, 2 strong runs in 2nd and 3rd.
2nd straight week, Suarez has been a runner-up.
Way to be, boys. Go get you a hat. Act like you've done it before. I need that motor again, all right? I ain't gonna tell you any more time.
3rd start in his career for Austin Terrio, a track he's never been to before. 2nd time he's finished inside the top 5.
Yeah, great start for the year. Top 5 at Daytona and a top 5 here at Texas.
Matt Craftsman started on the front row, led 77 laps. Came in the championship leader, padded it here tonight. Full post-race coverage on the way. Right now, it's Fox Sports Live in Los Angeles with Cole and Don. Thank you, fellas. An entertaining night for the Camping World Truck Series here at Texas Motor Speedway. And it ends like it did 1 year ago. Matt Craftsman, who a season ago was able to get it done on the long run, leading the final 61 laps, making it last on fuel, tonight had to endure a couple of late race restarts to get his 8th career victory.
Talk about being good on the mile and a half. We talked about KBM winning 7 of 8 last year. Matt was the only guy to win other than KBM. How about 3 mile and a half wins for Matt Craftsman so far this year? And we got several more to go.
4 mile and a half races so far this season. 5 left, as you talked about, Phil. Matt's average finish in those 4 events, 1.5. 3 times he's been able to go to victory lane.
You know, we talked about how he limped home at Kansas on fuel mileage to win, and how he stormed to this victory with that 2-lap shootout with Daniel Suarez. I think the one in Kansas was probably more nerve-wracking for Matt Craftsman, wondering if that thing was going to run out of gas and just patiently marching toward the checker. Tonight he didn't have any time to worry about much of anything. He just was pedal down, and he drives into victory lane.
But isn't that why he's won 2 consecutive titles and perhaps could get a 3rd? He can get it done in so many different ways.
So impressive. Another heartbreak for that young man there. Eric Jones, a great truck again, led 68 laps, had battery issues. His guys had to change 3 or 4 batteries throughout the night. Ends up with a 15th place finish. Junior Joyner having a word with Matt Craftsman. They've been friends for a long time.
Gaining on their championship lead tonight. Came in on top by 11, now 25 up. Talked about his victories early this season. Round 2, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Craftsman gets his first victory of the season, letting everyone know he had his eye on a 3rd consecutive title. And Michael, you just talked about it. So good and easy on the throttle, making the fuel last at Kansas.
That's exactly the opposite of what he was here in Texas to win.
And tonight, he had to hammer down to get his 8th career victory. Let's hear from him. Down to Caitlin Vincey.
Well, this time a year ago, Matt Craftsman was a winner here at Texas Motor Speedway, and today he finds himself in victory lane, once again getting his 3rd win of the season. Matt, walk us through that final restart and battling Daniel Suarez for the win.
Them restarts for Harry. You spin the tires so bad on the restart before that. I got to thank Johnny Sauter, my teammate. He gave me a good push on the second to last restart. And we got finally a pretty good restart on that last one. And, man, it's like you run side by side by side. But said these guys never gave up, just kept working on this Menards Toyota Tundra. It's all about these guys building me great trucks.
Matt, when you and I talked yesterday, you said you were happy but not satisfied with the season just yet. Now, another win under your belt. Are you feeling a little more satisfied?
We're happy. We're happy for sure. We're definitely not satisfied. We'll be satisfied when we get to Homestead, and we'll see where we are there. But like I said, I can't thank these guys. I mean, this Menards Toyota Tundra Ideal Door truck was very, very good. At the beginning, we were a little bit off, and then the second to last run, we got really, really loose in for whatever reason, and Junior made a couple adjustments on that last pit stop and tuned it right up for me again.
Matt Craftsman earning his 3rd win so far this season. Vince?
Daniel Suarez for the 2nd week in a row, 2nd place. Anything different you could have done on that restart at the end?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess I need to talk with Kyle maybe to get some advice about to race hard, super hard. I mean, I felt like we had a really, really fast Toyota Tundra Harris Telcel truck. I just felt like maybe a little bit too loose to race in the bottom. I mean, it was fine maybe to race side by side for a few laps with new tires, but with old tires, it was either to wreck or to try. And I was close a couple times, so I didn't want to wreck and you know, just throw away a good 2nd place. I'm happy, but I just feel like we're getting closer and closer. We'll get one soon.
I believe they will. Daniel Suarez, 2nd tonight, Adam.
A great effort for Suarez, as you mentioned, back-to-back weeks where he's been in the runner-up position, led laps this evening. Did Suarez, spending 6 circuits out front during a cycle of green flag pit stops. John West Townley, 3rd tonight. Johnny Sauter was 4th, and they both show up on our grid here when you look at the championship standings, each inside the top 5.
And now Johnny Sauter can look at Tyler Reddick up in 2nd and say, I've got you in a couple races, buddy, and join Matt Craftsman and maybe have the ThorSport teammates battle for this championship. But we definitely have a 4-horse race still, but finishing in the top 5 in this series, that's quite the accomplishment. And there's a lot of guys lined up. They're going to battle for that spot.
Yeah, Jenton West Townley with a great run maintains that 5th place point position with a 3rd place finish.
A lot of rookies inside the top 10 tonight. Terrio, Cameron Haley, Justin Boston, Daniel Hemrick. The late spin rallied back to finish in the 9th position. Time now to go to Fox Sports Live in Los Angeles. Don Bell and Cole Wright have got the action for you. Thank you for being with us at Texas Motor Speedway.